Do you think they're real fighters?
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I understand Floyd. He could probably make $100 million out of this. They're both, really potent on Instagram. Logan's got like 19 million followers. Jake Paul is at about 15 million followers on Instagram. I'm not going to knock Logan Paul too much because, he wants to be a fighter and he's getting into the ring, albeit retired and considerably smaller, is still the greatest boxer of this generation and one of the greatest fighters ever in Floyd Money Mayweather, who can get up out of his sleep and fight better than 99% of the planet. So we understand that about Floyd, and even though he's considerably smaller, his skill level is just on another level compared to Logan Paul. But you know what? A lucky punch can take you out when you get older. So, beware of that. In the case of Jake Paul, I don't blame Floyd Money Mayweather a little bit. And I hate talking about these guys in a negative fashion because I like both Logan and Jake. And I think that the attention that they bring to the sport, they deserve to be respected and appreciated for it. Because if the promoters didn't mess up the sport so much by denying us the opportunity to see the fights that we wanted to see when we wanted to see them, then we wouldn't have exhibitions like this. But at least Logan Paul is fighting a fighter. Jake Paul getting into the ring with non-boxers, I know it's an exhibition, but if he did that on the street, he could get arrested, even if it was consensual.
I totally disagree with this.
Even if it was consensual, I know you did. That's why I'm speaking, so you can hear my point and show how you disagree. The point is, I know he can't be arrested or anything, but if you got into a fight on the street with somebody, okay, and you were a boxer and they weren't, yeah, you can't get arrested because they've agreed that it's an exhibition event. But for the most part, you did that in the street, you get arrested. Jake Paul is fighting people who don't box. That's my issue with him. Nothing else. I don't care if it's an amateur boxer. I don't care if it's an amateur boxer. Like you bring up, Max, muscle memory. You taught me that. You talk about muscle memory. Fight somebody that actually boxes.
But he doesn't really have it yet either, Stephen A. He's been doing it for 2 years. Look, I'll say this. He started
fight
out
somebody
fighting,
that's been doing it for 2 years.
Well, but then you can't make a big event. Here's the catch-22 they're in terms of that stuff, right? And it's a good problem to have. They make huge events and make millions and millions of dollars when they fight. And they're big events, and that's part of the reason that we both appreciate what they do, because these guys train hard and fight hard, do their best, and they respect the sport. It's all you can ask, right? People want to pay to see them. This is America. You can do that. So when you look at Jake Paul, he fights a YouTuber, beats them. Now he has to fight a professional athlete. Not everyone thought he was going to beat Nate Robinson. Knocked him out. Then he fights an MMA fighter who's not a striker. Knocks him out. Now he's fighting an MMA striker with a wrestling background, but we know Woodley can strike. If he wins this fight, and I don't know if Woodley's old, he's lost 4 in a row, of course, because in order to develop as a fighter, you got to be matched with guys you have a chance to beat. But in Jake Paul's case, he's such a big name, you also have to be matched with a guy who the public knows. Now, Stephen A., you know very well, if the public knows your opponent, probably they can fight. So how do you do that? How do you navigate that?
Max, are you going to sit there with a straight face and tell me that Jake Paul couldn't find somebody as popular or more popular than Nate Robinson or Ben Askren? Come on, Max.
No, but he was up to that stage. Now he's up to the next stage. A faded dude, but who can strike. And if he wins this, if he does, it's far from certain, right? Like, who knows? A lot of people take Woodley. I don't know who wins that fight. If he does, then the next dude will be a guy who can strike, who's a little not as quite as past his prime, and so on.
I have a question.
I'm just saying, you don't get into the ring with somebody. Jake Paul. Let's put Jake Paul on Front Street right now. Jake Paul, from my understanding, Max, you follow the boxing community, obviously. Jake Paul, from my understanding, has been being trained by professional fighters for the last 3 years. Professional fighters and trainers. That wasn't Nate Robinson.
Woodley hasn't had a boxing coach?
No, I'm saying that wasn't Nate Robinson. That wasn't Ben Askren. Come on, Max. That's what I'm talking about.
But that's what he was
here.
up to then.
No.
He's dipping his toe in the water.
You're acting like he just got his toe in the water and he's going against somebody. This dude has been training legitimately as a fighter for years.
For 2 years.
And you get to the ring with a basketball player?
At that time, he'd been training.
Or a UFC fighter that wrestled?
At
You
that
saw
time,
Ben
he'd been
Askren
training
fighting?
for like a year and a half. And you know how many fighters throughout the history of boxing, professionals, even champions, early in their career, they get cab drivers. They throw some boxing gloves on them, and it's a win on a dude's record. I mean, that's how it works in the fight
how it
game
used to
early
work.
on.
I don't know if that's working. I don't know if that's the case in this day and age. All I'm saying about Jake Paul, I love what Jake Paul and Logan Paul are doing for boxing because they're bringing attention to the sport. All I'm trying to say is I appreciate the fact that even though it's against a smaller opponent, the bottom line is Logan is getting in the ring
Who do you
with
like,
a professional.
Jake or Woodley? Who do you like, Jake or Woodley? Who do you like in that fight?
Jake, because I think Woodley can knock out anybody, but I think Woodley is an MMA guy. He's a mixed martial artist,
But
not a boxer.
MMA guys have boxing coaches. I'm just letting you know. And Woodley's has been fighting for a long time. He can punch.
I have a question, and
I
this
love
isn't
Woodley.
even to be funny, and I know we need to get to break, so to our producers, but for $100 million, guys, would you get in the ring with Logan or Jake Paul? Like, would you
For
seriously?
$100
For
million?
$100 million.
Right now.
Right?
For
I mean, I think I would.
No,
I think I would.
That's Max. I'm the kind of man that believes I'm gonna make $100 million doing what I do. I don't have to engage in exhibitions to pull it off. I'm gonna get mine.
Okay.
Do you know how many arguments about sports you need to get into to get $100 million?
$100 million?
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.